Well, hello there, gamers! And welcome back to the first world that I ever played on. A couple videos ago, I showed you my first builds ever. And today, we are going to be taking those 3 builds and transforming them. Yes. Alrighty, so here we are at my first ever build. I had not built anything prior to this, so it's only fitting that this is the one that we start with. Alrighty, so on the base of it, it's just a floating cobblestone mess that doesn't really make any sense whatsoever, doesn't really have a shape, as you can definitely see. So what are we going to do to transform this? Well, for starters, I actually want to make it less floaty because it's technically only being held by these 2 trees here that are very tiny, and then all of this is just floating in the air. Alright, I think that actually looks pretty decent. And bada bam, bada bam, the transformation is now complete. So we went from this into this. Look at that. I wanted to keep as much of the cobblestone as I possibly could, and actually, well, I ended up keeping like 90% of it when I look at it now. This is my first ever build, and the weird shape and cobblestone were the main things that made it unique and special, so there was no way that I was getting rid of that. So yes, we have better supports of the base now. It looks like it's being held by quite a few trees down there. Okay, and this is the entrance. You go up here and bada bim, bada bam. Look at that. Looks way better than what we had before. This is the first floor. This is the new and improved bathroom. You can exit through here into the first balcony with the swimming pool. Oops, that's not supposed to be there. There we go. And yes, you can still drown in this swimming pool, even though it got smaller. Alright, going into the second floor, this is where we have all of our bookcases and all of our storage. Look at that, I even moved the items around. Then we have our bed with some more storage, some lecterns for decoration, a painting, and of course, a very suspicious carpet. Oh my god, look at that, very sus. And of course, you can once again come into the pool area from here and also from here. Look at that, you have 2 entrances. Hey. Then we move on to the floor above us. This used to be where I had my secret hidden room, and it has now been replaced by the massive couch. And when we go inside of here, we have some extra storage, a place to hang our armor, and look at that. This is now our hidden chest. Not so hidden anymore. Outside of here is where I keep my cows. Up here was our wheat farm, and it still is. And outside you have some sugar cane and just a general area that you can come out and relax. And finally, the last floor is where our enchanting table is located. We have level 30 on it, some more storage with decoration, and finally a carrot farm. Look at that. And this is pretty much it. If you want a more detailed comparison, I highly suggest you go and check out my previous video where I react to my first 3 builds, where I give a much more detailed tour to how the base looked before I transformed it, just so you can get the perfect idea of how much I improved it. I gave it just the right amount of my current building skills mixed in with what I built initially back in 2012, and I love it. Okay, and now it's time to move on to my second ever house, which I'm having a hard time discovering for some reason. It's not not really that far away. Oh, there it is. Oh my god, that was dead center. Look at that. Alrighty, so this is the second house that I ever built. Shortly after the cobblestone house that we just transformed in. Oh boy. This one is not any better now, is it? The roof is crooked. Look at that. What is this? What did I do? Okay, so there's a quick look around. It's very disturbing on some angles. I mean, it's not that bad considering that I had no idea what I was doing and I was just placing blocks randomly until it worked. So we have a little yard area here with all my crops, and this is what we have inside. This is my bedroom over here. It actually looks very decent. And we have the second floor, which is very empty. I think this was supposed to be my office, which I also kinda never finished. And then we have the attic area, which is full of random chests that are mostly empty, I think. Yeah, there we go. Just one or two chests filled. And then the world's most inefficient pumpkin farm that I don't think I ever even used. Okay, I genuinely have no idea how I'm gonna make this look better, but I'm gonna try my best. And we are going to do it time-lapse style. Yes, yes, yes! And look at that, gamers. We are done transforming my second ever build. And I think it turned out fantastically. So we went from this into this. Amazing. I think it was a lot bigger transformation compared to my previous base that I transformed because I completely cut off half of the house. You can see that there's no longer any trees on the top of the roof, thankfully. I decided to move them down here. We made a little dock with some boats and some storage on those boats. Look at that. So I can walk up here, get into a boat and visit my friends over there. We made the farm a little smaller, but we retained the wheat and sugarcane. We have some storage here. We have a tiny cozy sitting area here with an umbrella. Look at that. We have some logs here to keep us warm during the winter, even though I actually left out making a chimney or a fireplace for it. Whoopsie. Alright, and going inside of the house, we are greeted with this. Look at that. I actually retained almost everything from here. We have the table with the pistons. We have the staircase going up. We have some storage, some utilities that we can use. We have a lovely little painting of the Wither. Yes, yes, yes. And I kept my bedroom for the most part. We also kept the floor designs for both of these places. And that is actually it for this part of the house. I basically cut it down and only kept the bedroom. And above the bedroom is a balcony, which we are now going to get to. So climbing up to the second floor. Again, I didn't want to change up the room that much. I only got rid of the ladder that was going up to the attic. So I basically added some storage here and there. A nice little table, some bookcases as decoration. Obviously our balcony with some smokers outside. Look at that. And storage. And then this would be my office. Look at that. Some extra storage, a nice little green carpet, and the aquarium design that was here from 2012. We have two staircases, both leading to the same place. And look at that. There you go. My office. Some storage, utilities, a nice window we can look out through. Look at that. That's my friend's houses over there. A bed to take some quick naps, some decoration, and then of course we have my computer. Look at that. This bad boy. A keyboard, my mouse, and my monitor. Yes, yes, yes. And a comfortable, nice yellow chair. Look at that. And then we access the attic from here. So we have some more decoration here and a course, I retained a very important thing from my original build. The world's most inefficient... Oh my god, that just grew. Yes, as I was saying, I retained the world's most inefficient pumpkin farm. It was an important part of my house, and it survived the transformation. I don't really like the roof, but I wanted to retain the original colors of it as much as I could, and also the design with the spruce logs. But adding in these roof windows on the sides like this really improved the overall look of the roof itself, so I think it turned out pretty good. So then things get a little weird here. I saw that 2012 me wanted to make some quirky walls over here and, you know, have a curved wall with a curved window wrapping around like that. So I basically decided to extend it on 2 floors and wrap it around the entirety of the house. And so we are left with a very unique looking back side over here. Look at that. And that's pretty much it. I love the way it turned out. Beautiful. And now it's time to move on to my third ever house. Again, this one was built shortly after I finished this one. However, the special thing about this house is that I built it in a collaboration with one of my friends, and we used to roleplay that we lived together in this house along with all of my other friends that surround us everywhere basically. And for a very long time, this house used to be my go-to house for every single server or world that I played on. I've built this house over 10 times. So gamers, we're going to hop into a quick time lapse where I'm going to transform this to the best of my abilities to make it look even better than it already does. So let's get started. And the transformation has been completed. So we went from this into this. Look at that. Perfection. There is so much to show you about this build. And I think the only way to truly do it justice would be to first give you a tour before the transformation and then after the transformation. So this is it. This is the original house by me and my friend. It was built either in 2012 or 2013. I cannot tell you the exact date, but it was around that time. So originally, the bigger part of the house was actually a cliff, as you can probably tell. And the only build that was here was this part of the house, the tiny one. It ended right here. And what happened is, I basically wanted to make my room as a secret hidden room that would be located right here in the cliff. So that's how it all began initially from here. And then after some time, I just transformed the entirety of the cliff into, well, a bigger part of the house. All right, let's start the tour of the house as it was built back in 2012. So outside you can see we have a lot of poppies that originally when they were planted, these used to be roses. The poppy had not been introduced into the game at that stage. So inside we are greeted with the main room that has a kitchen. Look at that. This is supposed to be our doorbell, but it doesn't work anymore, unfortunately. Then we have a tiny little table here. Then this was supposed to be some extra storage. Then we are moving on to the living room, which I think is the biggest room of the house. So look at that. Over here, we have a big fireplace. This is the piston table, and there always used to be a ton of cakes here that all of my friends would come over and eat whenever they had no food. Then we have a toilet here. Look at that. Moving on to the basement, this was a big part of our roleplay with my friends. So, you know, this was a waiting area for his office where he was a doctor or something like that. And we would roleplay with friends and random players. And this would be my office with my waiting area. And whenever I would accept a patient, I would just flick this lever and look at how you can come in, sir. Yes, yes, yes. And finally, for the basement, this is a goofy element over here that's just the block museum, which doesn't really make that much sense. So moving on to the outside area here, me and my friend bought this pig spawner and we would sell a lot of pork chops to players. This is where we kept them, this is where they spawned, and this is where we, you know, collected the pork chops. And then I have no idea what this guy did to be caged up like this. I'm missing some core memories here, I think. I can genuinely not tell you why we decided to lock this guy up. He probably did something, he probably ran away, and me and my friend probably decided to just lock him up. Alright, we are going back to the kitchen area and we are going to the second floor, which is my friend's room. Look at that, he has his bed, he has his TV, some decoration. Now, what this actually used to be is, let me grab some ice. This is his design of an aquarium, and he actually put regular ice back in the day, but since the torch is right here, this actually melted away. We have my friend's storage, and then climbing into the attic on this side, we have my friend's office, I think. He has a bed and just decoration, and that's about it. This leads to the other part of the house. And then we're gonna move on to the other side of the house. This is the in-between or middle ground of the two parts of the house that is connecting them up. And we have some storage here. And this is the chimney passing through all the way to the roof. Look at that. We actually decided to keep that in. And the best thing ever is my room. Look at that. I remember being so proud of this room. So we have some bookshelves as decoration. There's the aquarium that I was telling you about. Some storage here and there. I have a jukebox with a lot of discs. I have a television. Look at that. And of course, my bed. And the best part, I have a balcony. Look at that, with some lounge chairs and two very goofy looking trees. I have no idea why I decided that this looks good. We're just gonna move on. So over here, I don't think I ever finished this in this instance of the house. This was supposed to be an office of mine, and down here I had like a printer. Look at that. Some professional cringey Nick redstone right there. And then moving on to this door, it's like a tiny little corridor that you can either go down into the living room, or you have another toilet slash bathroom here. Look at that, with an actual bathtub. Kind of my personal bathroom since it was right next to my room. And finally, when we climb up here, we have the swimming pool. Yeah, me and my friend had a swimming pool on the last floor of our house. And this leads to his part of the house. Look at that. And well, that's pretty much it. I showed you every single room. I showed you every quirk and feature that this house has to offer. And now we're going to move on to the transformed variant of the house. Oh my god, look at the difference. I spent such a long time on this, and I have to say, it really paid off. Look at that. It looks amazing. And I'm really happy that I actually kept the original design language intact. Like, you have the smaller side of the house here, and then you have the bigger side of the house here. So let's have a quick look around. This is how it looks, and it's still embedded into the cliff here. I did bring it down a bit using world edit, but I decided to keep that in. I just decided to tidy it up a little so it doesn't look out of place. Let's begin the tour. So as you can see outside of here now, we have rose bushes to replicate the original roses that were planted back in 2012. And as we go inside, look at that. We are greeted with a much more improved main area. We have the kitchen here that looks way better now with some additional storage. Look at that. And this is now the table, retaining the piston design from back in the day with some chairs and some decorations around it. Amazing. And I got rid of the staircase, and now instead you have ladders that go up into my friend's room, and you can probably notice that I kept it very close to the original. in a way to honor and respect what my friend built back in 2012. So look at that. We have his bed in front of the TV. Look at that. Amazing. Some additional storage there. His main area of storage. I just decided to add in some chests. And of course, the aquarium. And this is the new and improved balcony. Look at that. And I moved the ladders that go up to the attic over here. And bada bim, bada bam. This is my friend's office with his extra beds here, a table, and a ton of storage. All right, we're gonna go back all the way to the first floor, and we're going into the living room. It looks so good now. Oh my god, I love it. So we retain the fireplace design, and of course, I had to put a sign that says fireplace over there. We have our storage here, some crafting, a furnace, an anvil. So we retain the table design. We have some cakes, some plates, some chairs, some decoration on both sides. This is the toilet, which is massively upgraded and improved right now. Like, look at that. An actual toilet with some toilet paper on the wall, a bathtub with a shower head, and even a sink with a mirror. Yes, yes, yes. And some towels as well, by the way. All right, and going outside of here, I didn't really change this up. I removed the little cage here that we had for the poor little piggy, and I kinda improved the way the pig pen looks, but I decided to keep it close to the original, so this is how it looks like. It's just basically a little bit more clean, and that's about it. Some decoration here and there. All right, going back in, we're going into the basement that also received a fresh redesign. Look at that. So this is the waiting area for my friend, and this is his doctor's office. This is the block museum, which looks mostly the same, and then we have my office with my waiting area here, and bada bim, bada bam. Again, pretty much exactly the same. We are now moving on to the second floor, and we are going to enter from here. Look at that. So this is the in-between of our houses, as I mentioned. I decided to kinda sorta keep where the chimney goes up, and I think this works pretty well. We have all of our storage with some crafting tables, furnaces, and other utilities. And then the best part of the house, we have my room. It looks magnificent. I really love it. So the design language, I decided to completely leave intact, with the exception of changing in the red wool for the blue wool, and also for my bed, because my favorite color is blue. I moved my TV from over here to over here, you know, right in front of my bed, so I can lay down in bed and watch some television. Yes, yes, yes. We have not one, but two jukeboxes now. Look at that. And all of our storage, a place to hang my armor. And from here, we can go into the living room. Look at that. Yes, yes, yes. We actually have this on both sides. And you can tell that I actually got rid of the bathroom from this side. Well, I moved it right over here. Look at that. My own private bathroom with a massive bathtub, a massive shower head, a very nice toilet with some toilet paper, some towels, and a sink with a mirror. And this is my balcony. So I kinda sorta kept the trees, but I made them much smaller, and they actually make sense now when you take a look at the house. And you might have noticed that, you know, I got rid of the cage over here, and I also got rid of the pig. Well, I actually didn't. The pig is right over here. Look at that. Everyone, I would like you to meet Ham Solo. Hello, Ham Solo. How are you doing? Adorable. And yeah, this is pretty much it for my room. Now we are going to move on to the last floor of the house. And again, we're going to enter from this house up into my friend's place. And here in between, you have a nicely decorated archway with some armor stands where you can put your clothes. Okay, and finally, this is the new and improved swimming pool. Look at that. You have some decoration, a place where you can hang your towels to, you know, dry yourself when you're done with the pool. You have some drinks here. You have a nice, lovely ceiling with a lot of natural light coming in. And that's it. You can enter it from my room, you can leave the entire house from my room, just like in the original build. The main difference being that it looks entirely modernized and improved in every single way possible. And gamers, that's pretty much it. We successfully transformed my first ever build. We started off with the cobblestone house, then we made our way into my standalone spruce house, and finally we finished off with the double house by me and my friend. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you liked this video, please consider liking and subscribing. It will help me out a ton. And of course, remember to always stay cringy.